My mother sent the 3-year-old me into an S-rank horror game dungeon. The barrage of messages frantically urged, "Little one, hurry and find the player ranked first in combat power. That is your father. If you don't move quickly, you might end up with a new mother. There's no time left. Qin Shen is proposing to Luo Luo during the live stream." In tears, I rushed to the scene, embraced the mightiest figure, and shouted "Daddy." The towering man, standing at a staggering 8 meters, paused in astonishment. "Ah, little one, run away. That's the boss of the dungeon. Indeed, he is the strongest present, but he is not human. Did Qin Ji not say he wouldn't raise a child? Why are you abducting one? Father, I am but a baby," I cried, wrapping my arms around his dark leg. "Do you no longer want me and mother?" According to the teachings of the aunties in the comments, I wept silently, as gentle as a rain shower without thunder. The aunties claimed that such a child, weeping quietly, was the most pitiable of all. The towering figure of the strongest father was indeed moved by my sorrow. "Yes," came a voice raw and hoarse, like a strangled cry. A tremendous force seized my collar and tossed me into the air. My bangs flew upwards. I raised my hand to press them down, but to my astonishment, it was I who was soaring. How wondrous! My tears transformed into laughter. The comments erupted. "I must report this. There are laws protecting infants. They shouldn't be thrust into a horror game to meet their demise. Being thrown so high, wouldn't the fall leave them splattered all over? What if they're thrown directly into the boss's mouth? Is no one concerned? The boss is after children." I landed on my father's broad shoulder. Gazing at the lines of comments, I tilted my head in confusion. I was merely 3 years old, only acquainted with the simplest of words. For instance, one meant the strongest and most formidable. Previously, the aunties had conveyed to me, through simple text and emoticons, that my father was the mightiest figure clad in black at the proposal scene. I glanced down at his dark attire. Indeed, he was formidable. From my perspective, everyone else appeared as mere ants. Although a man in black stood protectively before a woman in white, that seemed inconsequential. Joyfully, I embraced my father, showering him with kisses. How wonderful it was to have helped mother find father. Mother was right. Father loved her and me the most and would never abandon me. As for the series of crying emoticons in the comments, I softly suggested, "Aunties, you may weep upon my father's broad chest. It truly is expansive, like a grand house. We could all reside together. Do not be sad. I have found father, which is a joyous occasion. Thank you, little one. Your generosity is commendable. But no one wishes to lean against your father's chest, for he is not truly your father. Indeed, how could it not be broad? This ghostly boss is at least 8 meters tall, an astonishing rectangular entity. What to spare? Our child is a little illiterate. She probably cannot comprehend what we are saying. If she had even a kindergarten diploma, she wouldn't be in this predicament." 2. Father casually swatted at the little ants. The ants emitted various lights, yet continued to collapse to the ground in convulsions. "Wow, my father is truly powerful." I bestowed another kiss upon him. Father, flustered, tucked a strand of hair into my hand, saying, "Hold tight." Obediently, I grasped it, and with a rush of wind, we swiftly departed from the venue, arriving in a dim, clandestine chamber. It was small, containing only a bed and numerous unfamiliar instruments. Father hesitated for a moment before placing me on the solitary bed. He then transformed into a mass of black shadows, enveloping the entire room. I was encircled by my father. Goodness, is this the boss's lair? It seems so. The scene description reads, "Abandoned laboratory, danger level unknown. The life forms that created it have all been consumed. It now wields light and shadow in the cycle of rebirth and death. It shall become him." My word, a precursor to a dark deity. Is this the level of boss strength expected in an S-class dungeon? The boss is no longer even humanoid. Why does our child not realize something is amiss? At that moment, I too sensed something odd about father. I looked at my small hands and feet, then at my father, now resembling chocolate. Huh? How could father transform? Tentatively, I inquired, "Father, what is your name? Are you truly my father?" 3. The chocolate figure of my father slithered around me, occasionally sniffing. He inquired, "Who are you?" Small, soft, weak. I felt a tinge of discontent, yet responded politely, "I am called Little Pear." How should I introduce myself? I remembered hearing mother speak to a peculiar voice that would say, "Determination made. The boss of the Pear Garden dungeon is slacking. The following punishment is hereby enacted." Asked mother what boss meant. She explained that a boss is the leader. If mother is the big boss, then I am the little boss. Little boss. The large figure of father leaned closer. So weak, and you wish to be the boss? He curiously nibbled on me. I wailed loudly. It hurt. He truly is eating children, no way. Run, little one. Well, dying might be the easier option. Father was startled by my cries. He could hardly believe it, exclaiming, "You're crying already?" He fumbled about, spinning me around as if examining what I was. I ignored him, continuing to cry. I felt as though I had indeed made a grave mistake. Mother said father would never harm me. Mother is always right. Thus, I initially did not believe that father intended to propose to another woman. I believed that once I recognized him, father would surely return home with me to find mother. The dark shadow flailed anxiously, and suddenly, it transformed into a small winged cat that rubbed against my leg. Woof woof. I sniffled. Only puppies say woof woof. Then, how does a kitten sound? Kittens say meow meow. Oh, meow woof. The little cat made a cacophony of sounds. I couldn't help but laugh. The shadow sighed in relief. Slowly, it declared, "All right, you are the little boss, and I am the big boss. It seems you are indeed my offspring." As it should be. Not quite the case, though. Just because you birthed her, does that mean you call her baby? No. Are you Chinji to claim her as your child? Who switched my channel from horror to family? I have just come from Chinji's live stream. It seems he has little affection for children. He doesn't even wish to come. Still, Luo urged him to at least save a life, as it is the right thing to do. Agreed, Luo is truly kind-hearted. She is willing to care for the child of her husband's ex-wife. Did Qinshin not previously claim to be a widower? Where did this child come from? Were it not for her resemblance, I would suspect foul play. Indeed, I have yet to catch a glimpse of the child's mother. The barrage of comments continues to flood the screen, incomprehensible to me. Yet, it seems the crowd has ceased their lamentations. Perhaps all is well? I gently caressed my small belly and, addressing the one who acknowledged himself as Chinji's father, I said, "Father, I am hungry." He inquired, "What do you usually eat?" After a moment's contemplation, I replied, "In spring, I eat flowers. In autumn and winter, I consume grass and soil. But summer is the best. In summer, I can eat pears." Father responded with a puzzled expression. He elevated his tone. "Is this how you humans, or rather your mother, nourishes her child?" He affectionately jostled me. "No wonder you are so small." The comments echoed in astonishment. Oh my. Chinji's ex-wife is mistreating the child. Could it be that after running away with a child, Jinshin refused to acknowledge them, and the ex-wife, humiliated, took her revenge on the offspring? It feels like the truth is surfacing. Perhaps the child was cast into this realm by the ex-wife using some trinket. Otherwise, how could such a small child enter the instance? The series of humans worse than ghosts. Even the boss is sympathetic towards the child. I pouted and lightly struck my father. That's not true. Mother takes good care of me. When she wakes up, she gives me delicious food. But she doesn't wake up often, so I have to find food for myself. Only when she awakens does she grant the child a morsel, leaving the child perpetually hungry. Upon receiving this information, father's expression soured. "Forget about that mother of yours. Come, I'll take you to find food." I, too, was incensed. "You cannot disregard mother. I am already a big 3-year-old baby, not a small 2-year-old child. I can find food to take care of mother." At last, father ceased to argue with me. He lifted me up and hurried towards a place filled with numerous houses. The night had deepened. Father knocked on the door of the highest floor. "Knock knock. Open up. This room is one of the dormitories of Qingchuan No. 1 High School, the core of this S-level instance. Qingji has been leading his team here for 3 days. During this time, he has single-handedly resolved all the anomalies, achieving 0 casualties for the team. It was only today that he chose a safe moment to propose to Luo. However, no one could have anticipated that before Qingji could even open the ring box, everyone was firmly pinned down by an unprecedented anomaly. In that instant, the seer, Chunling, could see the Grim Reaper beckoning without even utilizing his innate skill. He felt a mixture of fear and exhilaration. He was dissatisfied with this proposal, which had garnered cheers from all viewers in the live stream. Very dissatisfied. Over the past 4 years, the Black Yao team had seen its old members continuously dwindle, replaced by new blood, and the memory of Sister Rongyue was fading, leaving only a scant few behind. Just before entering the Qingchuan instance, Qingji had assured them that the remnants of Sister Rongyue were only left in the hands of those whom she had saved with her life, and he would do his utmost to protect them. In the blink of an eye, Qinji had become infatuated with Luo Luo and was intent on proposing in the instance's live stream. Chunling found it repulsive. He was completely taken aback by this boss. But perhaps perishing together wouldn't be so bad. Betraying Sister Rongyue, Qinji was better off dead. Yet, he did not foresee a child, a little one adorned with Sister Rongyue's handwriting, bursting in. She was truly lovely, delicate like snow, resembling a miniature version of Sister Rongyue. The child hugged the boss and called out Daddy, only to be whisked away by him. Chunling was left in shock. The ensuing comments in the live stream revealed that this child was indeed Qinji's, urging him to rescue her. Luo Luo, with tear-stained eyes, generously encouraged Qinji. Her gaze filled with grievance. Qinji, heartbroken, declared, "Everyone is injured today. Let's rest for the night. I will address my personal matters later." Chunling struck Qinji. This was Sister Rongyue's child. How could it be dismissed as merely his personal business? Qinji immediately retaliated, and after a brief scuffle, Chunling and 3 other veteran teammates were forcibly confined to this dormitory. According to the rules of this instance, each dormitory could only accommodate an odd number of occupants, and leaving after dark was forbidden. Qinji and Luo Luo were intent on their demise. Thus, that night, none of the 4 in the dormitory slept, prepared with various life-saving tools, bracing for what lay ahead. Night fell. A knock echoed at the dormitory door. The boss from earlier called out, "Open the door. Do you have food? Food suitable for a 3-year-old human child. If not, I shall kill you. Open the door." I perched upon my father's shoulder, echoing the call. Accompanying father to seek food felt akin to a thrilling hunt. Father turned to me with disapproval. "Be fiercer. Do not act spoiled." Oh. I straightened up, hands on my hips. "Open the door. If you don't open the door, what will father do?" Father spoke too quickly. I forgot. A flurry of love hearts streamed through the comments. "Ah, the little one is so adorable. So tiny, she can't even reach the doorknob when she jumps. Yet she's trying to act fierce. To follow the boss and causing mischief at such a young age, Qinshin, please take the child back. Do not let her be led astray." Father, resigned, ruffled my hair. "They won't dare keep the door shut." He extended his hand, grasping, and the wall connecting the window to half the door was torn away. "Look, it's open." "Wow. Father is so impressive." My eyes sparkled with delight. Father smirked subtly, inclined his cheek towards me. Oh, he wanted a kiss from his baby. I leaned in for a gentle touch, and suddenly, everything blurred before me. I was airborne once more. Adults love to play flying high. This time, I was caught by a man, tightly embraced in his arms. "Uncle, you cannot hold me without parental consent." I pushed against him. Father, towering and having remained outside the building, now melted into shadows, surging towards us. Father roared, "Return the child to me." The uncle, upon seeing this, clutched me and fled. 2 women and a man appeared beside us. "Chunling, take the child and go first," one sister instructed. "We will hold them off." "Understood." I nestled in the uncle's embrace, feeling droplets fall upon my head. I looked up. It wasn't raining, but rather, it was the uncle's tears. He was frightened and sorrowful, his hands trembling as he held me. He knew they were no match for my father. "Please return me to my father," I implored. "My father is very powerful. You cannot defeat him." The comments were rife with discussion. Has Chunling lost his mind? How could he so recklessly snatch a child in front of the boss? With such a commotion, surely Qinji and the others can hear it. Why aren't they coming to rescue anyone? The 4 of them are likely abandoned tonight since they are all together in one dormitory. If I remember correctly, all 4 have been with Qinji for a long time. Isn't Qinji known for his loyalty? Always striving to save his teammates during missions? Why is it like this? Can we please refrain from being overly virtuous? Everyone has seen how formidable this boss is. What is the difference between rescuing and courting death? I support this. This is a horror game. What could be more important than one's own life? Though, I just returned from Qinji's live stream, and both he and Luo Luo's streams are blacked out. The title is about a wedding night. What on earth? I'm not going to hand you over to the boss. We are not like your heartless biological father. Noticing my desire to break free, Uncle Chen tightened his embrace around me. You are Rongyue's child, aren't you? Rongyue? Upon hearing that key word, I froze. My mother is Li Rongyue. Last spring, just before the pear blossoms fell completely, my mother finally awoke again. She held me and taught me a line of poetry. The pear blossom courtyard, bathed in the gentle moonlight. Mother said I was her little pear, and she was the moonlight. The moonlight enveloped the pear blossoms, just as my mother held me. So, dear child, do not fear. Every night when the moon shines, Mother is by your side. I looked up at Uncle Chun in his embrace. Tonight was also a full moon night. I reached out to grasp a handful of moonlight, as if trying to catch my mother's hair. Yes, I'm my mother's baby. Uncle, I miss my mother. I felt a lump in my throat, on the verge of tears. Good babies must not cry heedlessly. Uncle Chun wiped the corners of my eyes. There are many uncles and aunts who also miss your mother. His voice was low yet earnest. So do not be afraid. Even in death, we will protect you and guide you out of this copy, just as your mother once did for us. Wow, so sister ex-wife is Lee Romue. No wonder Chun and the others are so determined to protect this child. This sister was once famous throughout the server as a beacon of light, both beautiful and strong, adhering to the principle of saving whenever possible, having helped many. Back then, Lee Romue sacrificed herself to save Qin Ji and her teammates. If I recall correctly, she must have conceived at that time. To abandon a miraculous child like this to the bazaar while focusing solely on newcomers seems rather excessive, doesn't it? I support this. If it weren't for the boss who loves children, this child would already be lost. Uncle seemed genuinely familiar with my mother, not a wicked uncle trying to snatch me away. I felt somewhat conflicted and poked him. Uncle, don't run away, or you'll truly be in danger. The moonlight emerged. The shadows of buildings, trees, flowers, and people were all cast forth. My father was among the shadows. He was closing in on us. Now he was everywhere. Chun Ling understood my hint, but there was nowhere for him to escape. His shadow grasped his ankle tightly. My father crawled out from the shadows. Return my baby to me. Damn you, human trafficker. You deserve to die. Upon hearing this, Chun Ling, enraged, forgot his fear. This is Sister Romue's child. How could a bizarre creature like you produce such a lovely child? How shameless. My father shouted, this is my biological child.
Pa.
You detestable human. They began to argue. I was somewhat dumbfounded. The barrage of comments was also stunned. What is the boss doing? Why hasn't he acted yet? The child is in Chunling's arms. The boss is hesitant to act, feeling anxious. This is unbelievable. There really is a bizarre creature treating a human child as its own. The quarrel between my father and Chunling escalated. Chunling became increasingly agitated. Your child? How will you raise her? My father extended many long, black tentacles, attempting several times to reclaim me, but each time hesitated, fearing to harm me. It angrily declared, of course, I will raise my child. Chunling questioned, how will you do that? She is human. She will soon be of kindergarten age. She needs to make new friends and receive an education. You, a bizarre creature without even human food, what will you feed her? My father was taken aback. It nervously glanced at me, embarrassedly lowered its head. It ceased its attempts to snatch me away and rummaged in the shadows, producing 2 women and 1 man bound. A trade. Uncle Chen's body trembled. His eyes turned red. The 3 shook their heads at him, resembling a tragic yet kind-hearted character from my mother's plays, stubborn and good-natured. I sighed. Sigh, does anyone remember that the baby is hungry? I absently patted my belly. The baby hasn't had a meal yet. Uncle Chun, I'm hungry. I pushed aside his arms that were holding me, wanting to jump down. The ground was pitch black. My father surrounded us. How could Chunling dare to let go? A short-haired sister on the ground chimed in. I have chocolate and bread in my pocket. The shadow instantly lunged toward her pocket, instinctively searching through the other 2 as well. Father remained silent, offering me the food, shaking it enticingly. The short-haired sister cautioned. Hey, has the child had chocolate before? Be careful of allergies for the first time. My father was silent. It didn't he know? The tentacles extending from the shadow turned into sorrowful curls. It's okay to eat. Mother has given it to me before. It was also taken from the pockets of a group of uncles and aunts. I took a small bite of the chocolate, then handed the rest back to my father. Daddy eats. For me? Father was taken aback. Yes. Little people eat little bites, and big people eat big bites. It's only fair. I said to Uncle Chun. Thank you for wanting to protect me. But it's late. I want to go home and sleep with Daddy. I tried to push him again. This time, Uncle Chun released his hold. His expression was complex. Following his gaze, I saw my father grinning foolishly while holding the chocolate. I jumped down, and my father immediately embraced me. Daddy, let's go home. All right. Father no longer allowed me to sit on his shoulders. He held me tightly in his arms, guarding me closely as if cradling a treasure. After finishing the chocolate in my mouth, I licked my lips. So sweet. I love it. Father held the remaining chocolate to my mouth. I swallowed and didn't open it. Daddy eats. It was a rare treat. I couldn't eat it alone. Daddy doesn't like it. Baby should eat. Mother said the same. It wasn't true. I wouldn't listen. Father asked me, why didn't you speak when I was arguing with the uncle who wanted to take you away? Because they know your mother. So, you didn't want to go with Daddy, right? Big Daddy has a small heart. I felt guilty and averted my gaze. Father pinched my face, threatening me. You must not abandon Daddy. I want to abandon you. I squealed from the pinch. Then eat well. Father placed all the food in the crook of his arm, allowing me to eat by myself, including the remaining chocolate. Daddy will take good care of you. It said, awkwardly. You will have what other children have. Sisters, I am about to defect to the good boss Daddy. I can't take it anymore. Child. Say goodbye to your biological father, who is currently frolicking with another woman, and say hello to your new boss Daddy. Who understands the shattering of my filter for Chinji right now? I was unaware of the shifts in the live stream-esque barrage of comments. Nestled comfortably in my father's embrace, sleeping soundly. His arms swayed gently, and the moonlight rippled like water. The little boat docked in a gentle harbor. Father kept his promise. The next day, he held me and knocked on the door of the classroom at Qingchuan No. 1 High School. Baby, we are going to school. If human children have it, then boss' children should have it too. The barrage erupted with question marks. Dude, this is high school. The child doesn't even have a kindergarten diploma yet. Are we really pushing her like this? Laughing to death. The bazaar on stage was just using advanced mathematics to challenge Chinji. My father diminished his stature, personally guiding me into the classroom. It was filled with players participating in this instance. With an air of nonchalance, he spun me around before Chen Ling and his companions, proudly showcasing my immaculate and lovely school uniform, a creation he had tirelessly crafted overnight. A provocative smile graced his lips as he declared, my child has reached the age for education and is eager to make new friends. He then queried the assembly, surely, all of you would be delighted to befriend my child, wouldn't you? The teachers on stage, possessing two faces, nodded in agreement. Welcome, new student. All classmates should unite in friendship. The expressions of the players in the audience shifted dramatically, for they all witnessed the instance's countdown transform from 3 days into a jumble of gibberish. What the heck, isn't this instance supposed to last 7 days? Can this boss truly alter the instance's rules? Is that even permissible? This is hilarious. Chunling's face has turned pale. He was shouting at the boss so loudly last night, and now that the individual has brought a child to school, he seems quite displeased. Am I the only one watching Qinji and Luo Luo? The boss is approaching them with a child. A legendary meeting between the surrogate father and the new dad. Wait, does the boss not recognize Qinji? Bringing a child so brazenly and casually speaking, wouldn't the child immediately discern who the real father is? The barrage of comments was astute. As my father led me to the front row of the classroom, the couple seated in the center stood up. The woman beamed with gentle warmth. What a coincidence, darling, we meet again. I am Aunt Luo Luo, she said, tugging at the silent man beside her. This is your father. His name is Qinji, 12. He shares the same name? I regarded the man with curiosity. His pale complexion, dark eyes, and a birthmark on his nose akin to mine. He remained expressionless, casting a fleeting glance my way before turning his attention back to the woman, evidently disinterested in me. Father, he has the same name as you. Darling, perhaps we should transfer schools. Our voices coincided, my father's demeanor shifting to one of tension and guilt. This is amusing. It appears the boss is aware he has taken someone else's child. Boss, the language of human infants is slow hands. No chance. Natural childbirth is never as swift as one might hope. Regardless, the state advocates for childbearing. How one achieves it is of no concern. No more hesitation. The boss has taken action. He intends to confront Qinji. I heard a sharp sound as the man named Qinji shielded Luo Luo while they both vanished to the back of the classroom, protecting her while standing against us. Desks and chairs lay shattered around us. Fighting is strictly prohibited in the classroom. The dual-faced teacher on stage fixated on my father with all 4 eyes. I quickly grasped my father's hand. I apologize, teacher. We will compensate for the damages. I understood now, like my mother, my father too could not flout the rules without facing consequences. Teacher, class is in session. Parents are not permitted to remain in the classroom. Luo Luo turned to my father. You are this child's guardian, correct? My father froze. Luo Luo seems quite perceptive, She has swiftly identified the boss's Achilles heel. Now he must either break the rules or confess he is not the child's parent. Isn't it said that Luo Luo is a seduction-type player who relies on charming men to progress? Such stereotypes are misguided. Luo Luo ranks among the top 100 players. Surely no one believes she is a delicate flower. Indeed, Qin Ji seems to think just that. He hardly glanced at the child and showed no intention of recognition, his entire focus on protecting Luo Luo. Alas, not being loved is truly unfortunate. Father, please wait for me outside. I smiled at him. Love you. The ominous aura surrounding my father dissipated as he looked at me in unease. Darling, shall we return home together after school? Sure, let's make a pinky promise. My father shot a cold glare at the players and slowly retreated from the classroom. Upon exiting, he transformed into a swirling mass of black mist, enveloping the entire classroom, with his eyes peering from every pane of glass. The parents were no longer present. The players grew increasingly frightened. The classroom descended into darkness. Chun Ling and several other adults seized the opportunity to shift positions, encircling me. When the lights flickered on, I found myself distanced from Luo Luo and Qin Ji, as if we were two distinctly separate circles. Several adults discreetly passed me notes. Though Qin Ji has become your stepfather, you still have many godfathers and godmothers. Hello, darling. I am your Aunt Lu. Your mother and I are friends. Little one, we will protect you. I glanced at the notes in my hands, scratching my cheek. I didn't know how to read. For the first time, I yearned to study seriously and learn these characters. It felt as if there was an abundance of love in my hands. I wished to comprehend it, to respond. 12. Oh no, I cannot understand. Not a single word the teacher says makes sense. Am I truly foolish? QAQ? I sniffed, intending to doodle flowers as gifts for my father and the aunts and uncles. Haha, the child is on the verge of tears, unable to recognize letters while grappling with inequalities. The child's eyes are clear yet perplexed. Why doesn't this knowledge enter their mind? After enduring a lengthy class, no players exited the classroom for a break. My father pounded on the glass, the sound echoing. Luo Luo approached Qin Ji, making her way closer to me. Chun Ling and the others did not budge, shielding me. Luo Luo's gentle smile faltered. She was left with no choice but to ask through them. Darling, what is your name? She glanced at Qin Ji. Qin Ji also inquired, your name? Upon proximity, I recognized this uncle was indeed peculiar. He did not exude an aura of the strange or lifeless, nor did he radiate the vigor typical of the players. My name is Shaoli. He did not respond immediately, not even blinking, tilting his head instinctively, awaiting Luo Luo's cue. Luo Luo grinned triumphantly. Hello, Qin Li. Behind you stands your father. Qin Ji, call him father. As for me, you need not feel obliged to call me anything. But you must not recognize a strange entity as your father. She gazed out the window, enunciating deliberately. Your mother perished at the hands of the instance's boss. Perhaps it is this very one you have come to recognize. The sound of my father's pounding on the glass grew louder. Chun Ling's expression darkened. What does Luo Luo mean by that? Is she deceiving the child? Li Rongua died in the Shi Li Yuan instance. What connection does this have with the boss? Utterly nonsensical. This boss seems to be making its debut. I have witnessed this instance's live streams before, yet never encountered it. Let us not assume the worst. Perhaps Luo Luo is trying to drive a wedge between the child and the boss, hoping to draw the child back to Qin Ji. After all, the child is human. What is it to follow the strange? That still feels excessive. Do they not fear hurting the child's feelings? I pouted, feeling displeased and unwilling to converse with these odd uncles and aunts. I am not Qin Li. I was born of my mother, and I take her surname. Moreover, the person beside you is not my father. He is not a living being. The revelation sent ripples through the surrounding adults, who immediately regarded Qin Ji with suspicion. Luo Luo's expression soured, her gaze towards me almost venomous. What nonsense is this child spouting? I bristled. I was not speaking nonsense. I was born from my mother in a coffin. She told me I was neither strange nor human. I have always stood between life and death, able to discern the strange from the living. My father is peculiar, resembling both the strange and the living. This uncle is even more peculiar, neither resembling the bizarre nor the living. Dingling. The sound of the class bell interrupted the words I had yet to utter. Teacher, isn't there a quiz today? Lolo raised her hand just in time. Can we commence the examination now? She fixed her gaze upon me, asserting, in the spirit of educational equity, every student should partake in the assessment, correct? The barrage of comments erupted. Why bring this up suddenly? The child is so young. How could they possibly pass a quiz? It feels like Lolo is trying to silence the little one. Their words were left unfinished. Doesn't anyone find Shinji rather strange? He seems to have never spoken at the same time as Lolo. Not really. Shinji has always been somewhat reticent. But during the first 3 days in the narrative, he was quite attentive to his teammates, taking the initiative to clear danger. After proposing to Lolo, he seemed indifferent to his teammates' fates. How odd. I dare not mention that this proposal also felt quite sudden. I hadn't heard of any prior flirtation between them. Deep thoughts provoke a chuckle. The teacher on the podium regarded Lolo and nodded. All right, let us begin the quiz. A knock on the window heralded my father's voice. The primary principle of teaching is to tailor education to the individual. Educators must adapt their teaching and assessments based on students' actual situations and individual differences. Right, teacher. Detecting the veiled threat in his words, the teacher at the podium trembled, refraining from asserting that parents should not interfere with teaching. She began to call the roll. Lily, what is 1 plus 1? I exclaimed, it equals 2. The teacher nodded. Shinji, why does 1 plus 1 equal 2? Shinji's expression was stiff. Haha, though somewhat mischievous, it's quite amusing. So the little one is named Lily. Calling out her name sounds like a reduplicated word. I declare that the little one's English name could be Lily. Shinji, being so mature, you must have figured out gold box conjecture by now, right? I can't handle this. It's truly a case of tailored education. Observing Shinji at a loss for words, the teacher emitted a gleeful cackle. Your turn, deskmate. Shinji's deskmate was Lolo. Lolo, suppressing her anger, replied, Teacher, this question is beyond the syllabus. One question beyond the syllabus is permissible. The teacher, exhilarated, spun around 360 degrees. Students who cannot answer will face punishment. You two, stay after class. My father knocked on the window. Teacher, what about rewards for the good students who answered correctly? My child got it right. The room fell silent. Chun-Ling initiated applause, and others exchanged glances before joining in. Suddenly, thunderous applause erupted. The teacher's face turned an even paler shade of green. Good child, you are truly remarkable. Over. Not entirely certain of what had transpired, I merely smiled. This is impressive. If one didn't know better, they might think the child had topped the class. Boss brother, our little princess can now calculate 1 plus 1. Boss brother, this is what is called encouraging education. You humans should take notes. The quiz concluded just as school was letting out. Lolo, Shinji, and a few other students who had not passed the assessment stayed behind, while the others returned to their dormitories. Children have short memories. After the tension of the quiz, I had completely forgotten about the peculiar uncle and aunt. All I wanted was to go home. I dashed towards my father. He lifted me high. My baby behaved so well on the first day of school. No tears or tantrums, and even received praise. Did you miss Daddy? Daddy is right outside the window. My father rubbed my face against his. Dissatisfied. Good baby should think of Daddy while at school. Is this also a school rule? Indeed. My father spoke with unwavering certainty. All right then. I followed my father out of the classroom building, only to suddenly notice that Uncle Chun-Ling and the others had not left. They were lurking in various ways around the classroom, playing hide and seek. My father glanced at me. Would you like to play, baby? I nodded enthusiastically. My father picked me up and crouched next to Chun-Ling, giving him a kick. Make way, my child wants to play too. Chun-Ling took a deep breath and moved aside. It seems Chun-Ling and the others are observing Lolo and Shinji. They are growing suspicious. It is indeed quite strange. Isn't Shinji the top of the leaderboard? Why isn't he using any items? Purely hand-to-hand combat. I squatted beside my father. A small lens materialized before Uncle Chun-Ling, who focused intently, his expression growing increasingly serious. What could he be watching? My curiosity led me to nudge closer. Chun-Ling, without diverting his gaze, instructed, Baby, wait a moment. Uncle is busy with serious matters, and please ask your father not to disturb me. Okay. My father nonchalantly withdrew his hand that had been on the lens. Chun-Ling chuckled softly. My father lifted me. They aren't playing hide and seek. They are watching a spectacle. Come on, Daddy will show you the high-definition version. He transformed back into his colossal form, casually remarking, I will also assist you in administering punishment. A bout of demolition ensued. The players engaged in fierce combat within the room, and the bazaar suddenly stood in the open space, without any cover. We will incur losses, my father said lazily, pulling them a little closer. Baby, look. TSK, fight. His tone was akin to urging a spectator at a cockfight. In the midst of the chaos, Chunling hurled a water mirror towards Lolo and the others. The mirror flashed. Everyone present beheld Qinji and 2 or 3 players ensnared by transparent threads. The other end of the threads was wrapped around Lolo's fingertips. Her fingers danced as these individuals fiercely guarded her side, risking their lives to protect her. The barrage erupted again. What is this? It looks ominous yet powerful. Qinji has flipped the script. Who said this was charm flow? Is this truly charm flow? I'm curious, is Lolo as talent in the mental or control system? Is she turning people into puppets? Those around her are likely all top 50 players. Impressive. Oh dear, we've been discovered. Lolo glanced at Chunling. She sighed. The spotlight is truly a repulsive skill. Had I known, I should have eliminated you in the previous instances. Chunling coldly replied. It seems you did not wish to. He clearly pieced something together. Lolo chuckled. Indeed. It's not that I didn't want to take action, but your Captain Sheen was too vigilant in his protection of you all. Fortunately, he went mad and fell into that sinister laboratory, allowing me to reap the benefits. Chunling questioned. He never acts without consulting me. How did you deceive him into entering that laboratory? I merely informed him that the laboratory is a hidden level, harboring the birth of a deity that can disregard life and death. Perhaps he can even summon the deceased. Lolo's laughter grew louder. Chunling, those of you with obsessions are the easiest to deal with. With just one warning about the hidden level's danger, he ventured alone to investigate. Not wanting to burden you all due to personal interests, I orchestrated a proposal, and those of you who remember Li Romue became estranged from him. Alas, it's a pity. Had it not been for this child's interference, I would not have been discovered. The individuals surrounding Lolo evidently possessed formidable strength. Though akin to puppets, unable to utilize the original's items, their own prowess was sufficient to shield her. Lolo glanced warily at me and my father, manipulating one of the players to lunge at the teacher. An explosion rang out. My father instantly cradled me in his arms. It was too late. We were too close. Some blood splattered onto my little dress. My father reached out to wipe it, but it wouldn't come off. Has anyone ever told you that a good student must maintain cleanliness and refrain from littering? It said gloomily. It feels like Boss is about to unleash his wrath. Boss, let's not concern ourselves with whether your captain is alive or dead. First, let's examine my daughter, Estress. Upon hearing the news of his progenitor's demise, Boss secretly reveled in delight. Child, during the camp battle that year, my clothes were slightly soiled when I opened the door to let my father in, but I encountered no adversaries. To be honest, I have a modicum of admiration for Luoluo. She is utterly unafraid. Once this matter is uncovered, not only Boss and Chunling, but other players will also be unable to tolerate her, right? Who would dare to team up with such a sinister individual? Luoluo gazed at us, her expression unflinching. She sat in Qinji's embrace, casually blowing on her nails. Someone in the live stream asked me why I am not afraid. Of course, it is because my trump card has yet to be revealed. I have made use of Qinji's corpse, but I was not the one who killed him in the laboratory. Child, the being that killed your father, Qinji, is indeed your sinister father, isn't it? Hasn't he ever taken you to that laboratory? Ah, how eloquent the aunt is. I shook my head, feeling somewhat dizzy. I longed to return home for dinner. Luoluo's expression gradually morphed into one of confusion. Auntie, are you waiting for this? I rummaged in my pocket and produced a small spider. It spat out a thread as fine as Luoluo's fingertips. With a squish, my father crushed it. Ah! I hadn't yet had my turn to play. You little rascal, why do you keep stuffing everything into your pockets? My father shouted. Because it can't harm me. Mother has given me plenty of wonderful things. I dug deeper into my pocket and tossed a heap of items into my father's hands as if discarding rubbish. I encouraged him. Hurry and defeat the villains, then take me home for dinner. The demise of the small spider visibly paled Luoluo's complexion. Faced with so many items, she could no longer maintain her composed facade. Are you going to assist in defeating the being that killed your father? How can you face your mother? Chunling impatiently interrupted her, his gaze filled with animosity. You place the ability to manipulate hearts upon a child? If it weren't for you, Qinji wouldn't have met his fate. Let's deal with you first. Sigh. I sighed. Why has no one believed that the father I found is indeed my father? Must they insist that my father killed my father? Why are the adults incapable of understanding? It's so difficult. Mother often told me that I am a miracle. In this horror game, death is a common occurrence. Players die, bosses die, and countless souls intermingle, rendering death the very essence of this world. Yet, I am different. I was born here. I am the sole flower that has blossomed from this blood-soaked earth, the only new life. Life always finds a way to forge its path. This is my gift. It allowed me to be born from my mother, who was partially consumed by the boss, and to grow resiliently despite lacking care, enabling me to traverse various realms and successfully locate my father. I have always been able to find the right path. At first glance, I recognized that this enormous monster is my father. Like my mother, his soul is entwined with the boss, currently in a state that is both eerie and alive. Although he has lost his memory, he remains fundamentally my father. In my mother's words, he is slightly flawed. The impact is minimal. I endeavored to explain all of this to the bumbling adults present. Just as I finished speaking, a voice announced, "Congratulations, Player Lee. Lee has passed the hidden level." Level description: the newborn sinister god has been tainted by the desecrator, losing its past, present, and future. The human me loves and clings to life, while the divine me births and extinguishes. Here, there may be a lamp, a candle, a flower, or a tree, to impart to him what it means to be me. The new boss, the sinister god Qingji, has been unlocked and entered the boss compendium. All players are advised to take note. Due to uncontrollable factors, the Qingchuan First High School dungeon will undergo maintenance, and all players will be forcibly logged out. Following the update, the difficulty will be raised to SSS, with the completion rate plummeting to 0.00001. No compensation will be provided for this update. Any issues must be managed independently. This special announcement has concluded. We regret any dissatisfaction in our service. I was overjoyed. I told you he is my father. I told you I am Qingji. I high-fived my father. Yay! The dungeon was about to close, with a 10-minute countdown. Luoluo gazed at us, finally displaying a hint of panic. She wished to log out, but her shadow clutched her tightly. My father grinned menacingly. While I have yet to regain my memories of being Qingji, isn't it rather impolite to randomly appropriate someone else's corpse? Simultaneously, skills and items from Uncle Chunling and the others rained down. Luoluo found herself immobilized, attempting to persuade. He is the sinister god. We players should unite to defeat him. Perhaps we could obtain a special grade item. Chunling scoffed. I would fight the sinister god Qingji? I couldn't even defeat him when he was human. Don't be ridiculous. Let us first reckon with our grievances. Luoluo grasped her puppets. We may have enmity, but do you not see that my subordinates are unable to even protect their own corpses? For instance, your esteemed captain, Qingji. My father answered her. He reached out and tore apart his own corpse. Filthy, I no longer want it. The other players, including Qinling, felt no hesitation. The deceased have perished. Allowing their corpses to be manipulated is the true desecration. The scene gradually turned bloody. In the end, Luoluo exerted her last ounce of strength and lunged in front of me. Child, she forced a smile, spare my life. And I shall teach you how to control men like I do with dogs. You are a particularly clever little girl. You will surely learn. Look, this little spider is called the Black Widow. Isn't it adorable? The tiny spider made a valiant effort to crawl onto me. She truly is a wicked yet astute ant. I shook my head. I addressed this ant, with whom I stood at odds from the very first meeting. My mother told me that in horror games, everyone wishes to survive, which is understandable. But you cannot live at the expense of others. Most of the corpses she manipulated, like my father, were being guided towards death by her. If one ascends by consuming others, one day they too will be consumed. This is only fair. Uncle Chunling's voice was cold. If you lose, accept it. I will not concede. Ah. My father timely covered my eyes. Not suitable for children, dear. Before logging off, Uncle Chunling and the others cast a complex glance at my father behind me. They were no longer inhabitants of the same world. After the announcement concluded, my father was wholly recognized by the rules as a being of the uncanny. Ultimately, the uncles and aunts presented me with numerous precious items, taking turns placing them into my hands. A welcome gift for the child. May the three of you thrive together. When you next encounter Sister Omue, please convey my regards. From my narrative, they deduced, to varying extents, that my mother's situation is akin to my father's, perhaps even worse. Uncle Chunling gifted me the intriguing lens that I was curious about. He addressed my father. I owe you an apology for having doubted you so readily. Had I trusted you sufficiently, perhaps I could have uncovered the truth sooner. I am sorry. My father did not respond. He had yet to regain his memories. In his perspective, Chunling was merely a scoundrel who nearly usurped his child. Chunling bore no offense. Regardless of the circumstances, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to you for not only surviving but also for welcoming a delightful child into your life. Should the day come when you regain your memories and I am still among the living, if fate permits, do remember to visit me along with Sister Romua and Little Bao. Once you depart, I shall assume the mantle of the next captain, caring for our comrades just as you have. Farewell, Captain. Goodbye, Uncle Chun. I grasped my father's hand and waved. He remained silent, his memories fading, yet a sense of sorrow enveloped him, as if he had encountered such farewells countless times in the past. The barrage of comments reflected a similar melancholy. The bonds between individuals are inherently fragile. Most encounters are fleeting, each meeting a step closer to parting. Moreover, in this realm of horror, lives are as ephemeral as mayflies, born at dawn and perishing by dusk. To bid farewell is indeed a rare fortune. The live stream must also come to a close. Farewell, Little Bao. I gazed at the farewell emoticons in the chat and waved at the viewers. Farewell. Until our next meeting in the live stream, we shall find ourselves in Mother S realm. I took my father's hand and whispered, Father, the instance has been updated. Let me guide you through. Let us seek out Mother. Mother, Li Rongyue? My father softly uttered those 3 names, hesitating slightly. But I cannot recall her. Will she be upset? Not at all. Just as you felt affection for me upon our first meeting, you too shall come to love Mother. Before sending me off, Mother imparted that she had her own battles to fight and urged me to spend some time living with my father. She declared that she was no damsel in need of rescue. She possessed strength and means, instructing me to concern myself only with growing up peacefully. Yet, I am Mother's precious child. I worry for her. Hand in hand with my father, I followed the guidance of my heart, racing forward. The intertwining rules of black and crimson attempted to ensnare me, but I weaved through. No need for sight, no need for sound. My innate gifts carried me back to my homeland, back to my Mother's side. Loading the Shiyuan instance. Wishing you an enjoyable gaming experience. The story concludes here. Thank you for listening, and we shall meet again in the next tale.